Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Eclectica. Today I have Dr. Anirban Chatterjee sir with me in this episode of Eclectica. And if you are from the dental fraternity who is watching us, I don't think I need to introduce Dr. Anirban Chatterjee sir to you. But still, for all my viewers, I would definitely like to introduce sir. So, sir is a periodontist, that is a gum specialist. This is for my non-medical friends. And sir, he's a PhD in dental sciences, and he is a fellow implantology from New York. And sir has immense achievements in his entire career. He was the former vice principal of the Oxford Dental College and Research Center in Bangalore, and presently he's heading the Department of Periodontics in the same institution. So, Sir has been in the editorial boards of many national and international journals. He has been the life member of different societies, which are august societies, like he has been the past honorary secretary CDO of Indian Dental Association head office. He was presently he was elected the president-elect of Indian Society of Periodontology, and he has given many lectures nationally and internationally in many countries like in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Dhaka, Maldives, and many other places. Not only that, Sir has received Bharat Jyoti Award in 2011 in New Delhi. Sir received an award for Best Professor in Healthcare in Bangalore, which was awarded by the Times Research Group in 2013. And Sir received Most Proactive Senior Academician of the Year 2016 award, which was awarded by Guardian Dental Academic Excellence Awards in Delhi. And Sir is a country speaker for Reddy Laboratories and Melbourne, Portugal. He conducted many webinars related to medical emergencies in dental practices, and his main area of research interests are perioaesthetics, platelet-rich fibrin, which we commonly called as PRF, then platelet-rich fibrin matrix, and periodontally accelerated osteogenic orthodontics, as well as implantology. So I think that is a very brief introduction though, but sir, I welcome you to this platform and thank you for accepting my invitation to Eclectica. It's a pleasure having you here, sir. So today with sir, we'll be discussing an interesting topic. That is, sir names saliva as the two-edged sword. So sir, my I will definitely ask you many questions because
Yeah, sure.
you have given a very interesting name. So,
Yeah,
my
sure.
being a gum specialist, sir, because that is the term I'm using instead of periodontist, as you know
True,
that
true.
this will be viewed by many other people who does not belong to our fraternity. So, sir, like being a gum specialist, and I know that you are a very avid researcher. So, what would you like to say about saliva in the perspective of disease diagnosis? That is my first question to you.
Okay. So, as Dr. Garge, you have been working with saliva from, I think, a decade now, and you have been a avid researcher. So, I've been also working with saliva for a pretty long time. Saliva is one of the most diagnostic thing of our body. It can diagnose cancer, like if you take saliva, if you diagnose it with the stage 1, if it is stage 1, 93% of the time you can save the
Right,
patient's life, ovarian
right,
cancer.
sir.
And if it is stage 4, it is only 10% chances of survival. So with saliva itself, you can detect cancer, you can detect cardiac diseases, you can detect your kidney diseases, you
Correct.
can detect periodontitis, or which I am specialized of.
Right.
So saliva is, and at present scenario, the COVID, it is one of the fastest and best detection studies have shown, because for COVID you need to take the swab from the from the nose, and there are
Correct.
2 cases wherein the because the patient's anxiety, the tab has broken
Okay.
inside the nose. So they need half an hour they took to do a surgery and remove the swab or the by surgically removing it. But saliva, it is hardly anything. You just spit and you can do it, and it is 100% easier and positive result it will give. Sometimes some patient in a study they have shown out of 38 patients or 38 subjects, whatever we call it as,
Okay.
with saliva, all 38 were positive. Whereas when they have taken nasal or esophageal swab,
Right.
out of that, 3 of them were negative. But eventually they were positive. So it is
Okay.
saliva is a very, very good diagnostic and easiest way of taking your any disease per se. So with saliva, we are doing lot of as a biomarker. We are checking out whether the patient or subject are going to have periodontitis in future. It has got lot of inflammatory cells. It has
Correct.
got healing cells. It has got pepsins, IgG, IgM,
Right.
what not. It will be little out of the box if I talk with the lay people, but if it's a dentist who is hearing this talk show of yours, it will be very, very useful because saliva is the best diagnostic tool as far as I feel. And even in any term, in medical, dental, anything you take, it's the best of the best. That's
Right,
what
sir.
I personally feel. And
And
the
sir, rightly you said regarding the
biggest
COVID.
advantage of saliva is it is easy to collect.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. Because at this scenario, we are always dealing with the COVID situation, and
Yes.
patients are very scared to give their swab because it goes till the end of the throat or nasal thing. So they are very, very scared of it. So saliva, immediately anybody will be ready to give the saliva,
Yes.
whichever we do it. So it will be easier and it is a fastest. Plus, it is a positive. It gives, as I gave you the example, it is a
Yeah.
positive way of checking with it.
So I
Yeah.
think the thing that you were telling, basically, it will really help in early diagnosis also, because as you mentioned one about the study that first of all that thing broke, and also
Yeah.
some of the samples come negative, though
Yes.
yeah. But I
Yes.
think with saliva that is a more promising area, as you said.
Exactly. Exactly. Because in nasopharyngeal area, sometimes it gives a false negative.
Yes. Yes.
False negative.
Right.
But saliva, it is always giving positive result, and whichever is negative. But
Correct.
what saliva in the study, what they have shown, saliva has shown positive, but they have shown negative in the nasopharyngeal swab.
Correct.
But
Correct.
actually, the patient was positive.
Positive.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that way saliva is a best diagnostic tool for any disease. For
Yes.
any disease, it's a wonderful thing to deal with saliva, and you have been doing it for so many years. I'm so proud that it's a wonderful thing that you have been doing. Research
Thank
after
you, sir.
research after CS research.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
And sir, now I will ask you one thing, because now we have, and you have praised lot about saliva, but then
Yes.
I would like to ask you that though we are hearing about saliva research happening not only in our country but definitely in the global perspective is much ahead, but still I would like to know that what would you suggest about the limitations? Are there any limitations related to particularly to saliva diagnostics when we come to diagnostics? So I would like to know your views on this aspect.
Yeah. Basically, see, India is a poor country. If you take as India as such, it's a
Right.
poor country. Research money is not being utilized as it should have been.
Correct, sir.
So what we do is, as a dissertation or a thesis per se for a PhD, we
Okay.
use saliva as a diagnostic for a dissertation. But will it be applicable to use for a patient to patient in a large population? It is not possible. Okay.
Right.
If you take it in other way, again, what they are doing is, again, if I come to the COVID, if you take the COVID at present, they are
Correct.
taking saliva as a pool sampling. they're taking pay of 10 at a time. They're taking 10 people saliva, 10 in a group. Okay.
Okay.
At this point of time, government is paying a lot of money for the research with the saliva for the
Right.
COVID.
Right.
But if you see per se,
Mm.
it is a very good diagnostic tool. But researchers are not able to conduct that much amount of research work on a day-to-day basis because it's a costly affair. Because
Right.
the ELISA kit, everything which is required to run to check the cases, it is costly. So
Correct.
a particular individual, it will not make any sense that your interleukin has risen up. If I tell a layman that's because of this inflammatory, there is one inflammatory in the saliva, GCF, you can see is ghrelin. It is
Okay.
inflammatory. One of the biomarkers, ghrelin.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it is inflammatory thing. Then cremonine is one more. So all
Okay.
these things, what happens is it is a costly thing which is not possible for day-to-day life.
Right.
So that's the reason. That's the reason it is just restricted to dissertations and thesis, but it is not going on a wide range of pool work.
Okay.
That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's that's the thing because no funding is happening from the government. In US, in abroad, what happens is population is less, so even the country economically they are better than our country. Now,
Mm.
obviously now we are becoming better in economic wise also with the
Mm.
initiative made in India.
Mm.
What our prime minister has taken, made in India
Right.
initiative. We might in near future use it as a saliva as one of the diagnostic thing and come up with lot of things where we can stop the disease at an early stage. That's
Correct,
the
sir.
thing. My personal thing. That's what I would think. Yeah.
That was wonderful, sir. That wonderful insights we got from you about. I mean, I think you told the limitations, but then you gave us the positive aspect through the limitations
Yes.
again.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
wonderful to know. So,
Yes.
sir, my another question would be, sir, like now, even for the COVID also, like we know that like any other viral diseases, there has been some confusion, but then people are now accepting that it is also kind of a airborne disease. But my next question is not specifically to any COVID, but maybe more generic about airborne diseases. So I would like to know about your suggestions to our viewers. What would you like to suggest on hygiene practices in relation to any airborne diseases that way?
Okay. See, generally oral hygiene practice has been there. We as a dentist has been practicing the oral hygiene, maintenance of the oral hygiene. The main maintenance what we would tell is regular twice brushing, keep your
Right.
oral cavity there, but and do the cleaning done, scaling or oroprophylaxis or the cleaning what we generally tell because through that tartar in general form, periodontitis, gingivitis, inflammation of gums and it might happen. But at the present scenario, my only thing is that aerosols are not what is advisable. Even WHO is sometimes they're saying WHO is themselves are in confusion now. They are
Right.
saying today they are saying it is a airborne disease. Tomorrow it is saying no, it is not. Earlier it was said this is it is will be there in the on a steel area or on a chair or on a plastic for 8 hours. Now they're saying it won't be there. So anyway, let us not discuss what they are saying, what not. But we as a normal human being at this present scenario has to take very good precaution.
Right.
First and foremost, what we have to do is brushing. We need to use chlorhexidine mouthwash
Okay.
that is
Okay.
0.2% chlorhexidine mouthwash, which is a study, South Korean study and Japanese study has shown, which is very effective. Chlorhexidine is a gold standard for us. It should be used twice a day. Okay, for formation of plaque, it should anti-plaque, anti-staining, and
Okay,
etc. We
sir.
have. But at present scenario, chlorhexidine has shown to control the COVID viral load for 2 hours
Oh, that's
after you
fantastic.
use the mouthwash. Yes, for 2 hours, the viral load will be taken care. You should use 10 ml of chlorhexidine mouthwash just before you go out, so that anyway you will be wearing a mask, but it will at least take 2 hours for control the 2 hours of viral load. Then there are other studies which have shown chlorine dioxide mouthwash, chlorine dioxide mouthwash,
Okay.
which has shown that it will work very good against COVID virus at present. Any airborne COVID virus, rather, we are talking about COVID at the situation now. So it will be very, very effective against COVID. And third important mouthwash is betadine gargle.
Okay.
10% betadine gargle. Yes, 10% betadine gargle. If you are using it regularly, it will fight against the COVID. These are the studies which has been there, and it's not a recent study. Against COVID, these studies have been taken 1 year back also, and recent also. Within last 6 months, they have studied, and they have taken a sample size of 300, 400 people also. And yes. So these are the three of the mouthwash you can use other than regular thing, and don't avoid any aerosols. Avoid means if you don't wear a mask, it is not right.
Right.
So you should be wearing a mask and have a social distancing. That is general. But if you take it in general at present scenario, these are the three alternatives. I would suggest 10% betadine gargle.
Okay, sir.
Which is very effective against COVID. Then chlorine dioxide and chlorhexidine 10%, but 0.2%.
Okay.
Not 1.2, not 0.12%, rather 0.2% for 10 minutes, 10 ml. But the load will be viral load only for 2 hours. It can sustain for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
It is effective only, though it's a gold standard for plaque and calculus. And one more is hydrogen peroxide, which is little tasteless. So hydrogen peroxide in a glass of water, you can put about 10 drops of hydrogen peroxide. 10 drops of hydrogen peroxide in a 1 glass of water and gargle for at least a minute.
Okay.
It's half glass, 30 seconds, gargle and spit out. That also completely takes off the viral load from your oral cavity of the COVID. And that's what we are doing when we are treating the patient in the dental clinic. We first and foremost, we tell the patient to use hydrogen peroxide for 1 minute, gargle, and then only we start doing any work. And in between, we are giving them betadine or chlorhexidine, either of the one. So anyway, the dental procedure doesn't take, nowadays, we are not taking more than half an hour. So it is better for them and us also that it will take care of.
I think that these are fantastic inputs from you, sir, because I think it is very helpful for not only dental professionals, but for our patients and also for any general common people who are going out and they have to go out for their work, and the insights you gave. And I think all that mouthwashes that you mentioned, I think everybody knows about it, and they are nothing new, and they are very much available. So, and thank you, sir. Thank you for this, your suggestions, actually. And sir, my next question, since we are, I think in this pandemic, it is better to address such things. And like right now, we came to know so much from you. So I was interested to know that what would be your views regarding the role of saliva in the present as well as post-COVID-19 pandemic. If you can give us some insights on this.
Okay. See, I think that answer, almost half of that I have already given.
Yes,
I have given. But anyway, I'll tell you, at present scenario, as a diagnostic tool, saliva is very, very useful.
Yes.
Because with the pandemic of COVID, because saliva, as I told you, instead of taking a swab from the patient, they are taking a pool of saliva. Like there are 50 people in an area. confinement area, they have to take test for 50 people. So what they're doing is they're taking collectively 10 people, they are collectively collecting the saliva, and immediately they're getting the result within a day.
Right.
And 10, 10, 10 like that, 5. So out of those 10 people in one group, if one of them, the saliva is infected, then they're doing a RT-PCR test.
Correct.
They are saving a lot of money out of it.
Yes.
So saliva as a diagnostic for COVID, it is very easy and very fast. Okay. Out of those 10, if anybody is, if that sampling is positive, then only they are doing a RT-PCR and doing it. Okay. To find out of the 10 who is positive. That is the positive way of thinking. Post-COVID also, the only thing what I would preferably feel is saliva as an important thing, as well as it is diagnostic thing, plus it can be harmful also, because through aerosol only the salivary viral load can be there. So post-COVID also, we need to be very, very, very careful regarding the your saliva, as it is as I had mentioned also, it is the topic is double-edged sword. So when we discuss with that how it is double-edged sword, I think that post-COVID also answer can be given in particularly that area.
Okay,
that's what I feel.
Okay. Yeah. And sir, just coming to the concluding part, and it is always exciting and a pleasure to talk with you. And I think I can at least go hours and hours together to discuss with you, because it is always inspiring to listen from you. So sir, just my one last question is that what would be your message to our viewers?
Before the message, I think we can why the saliva is called as a two-edged sword.
Yes.
That term. Before I give you the message, come out with the message.
Sure, sir.
See, actually, why I have given the term as human saliva is a two-edged sword or the double-edged sword. So only the terminology comes because saliva is a diagnostic tool for so many diseases. Okay, it's one edge of the sword. It is diagnostic and it contains so many of enzyme. It is a healing agent also for our digestive, for our any wound healing. Whenever we do any surgical, saliva is a very, very, very important thing. If some people who are even if you can diagnose diabetes at the early stage, with saliva, might be with diet only, you don't record insulin or medicine. Diet only you can have a proper diabetic control. Correct. So that part of it, if you take it in this way, and whenever we see a common, I will tell you, whenever you are cutting some vegetables, especially ladies, if you are doing some work, you cut your finger. Immediately, first thing we do is we put it in your mouth. Put it in our mouth. Why? It might be a natural way, but saliva has so many good enzymes which immediately stops bleeding. And immediately the healing starts work. Even when there is a burn, suddenly while working you have touched something, immediately first reaction you're putting in the mouth. Your finger. Because of the healing effect. That is one edge of the sword. Another edge of the sword is because of this pandemic of COVID. Study has told that a person can have the COVID virus for 100 days without any symptoms in the salivary gland.
Okay.
So you can imagine a person is not asymptomatic for 100 days. Okay. After 100 days, he is symptomatic. Because for 100 days, he is having that COVID saliva in his mouth. That can cause COVID. So that is that. And at this present scenario, saliva is one of the thing which can cause you COVID with the droplets. I mean to say, okay. So it means some other salivas, not your saliva by per se, some others. People infected person saliva by droplets can fall into eye, nose, and mouth by chance, and it can stay, and then it can cause infection. So that is the edge, the second edge of our sword. So it is always a human saliva is always have been a debatable thing, but I see as it as a more of a positive than the negative part of
Correct.
it, because as we know now we are discussing COVID because it has come in as a pandemic, but
Yeah.
we never discuss tuberculosis also. There will
Yes.
be infection. Okay, see,
Right.
that's why whenever it's a human nature, and I would suggest it is a gentleman or a gentlewoman, whoever it is, whenever we sneeze, whenever we cough, we have to put a handkerchief in front of our face. That is
Correct.
the what you should be doing.
Mm.
That is not before COVID also,
Yeah.
because
Just
there are so many yes, so many things are there. So yeah, at this present scenario, saliva is looks like it is a very bad thing, but I will tell this is a 50-50 edge, but once it is gone, I feel I'll give 80% to or 90% to one of the edge of the sword and 10% to other edge at
right,
present.
right, right,
Okay,
sir.
yeah.
So I think that that was wonderful, and
Yes.
really we got enlightened from your inputs. And so, sir, coming to my last question again, that I definitely like you to give away your message to all my viewers. Please, sir.
Okay, during this for this pandemic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I would like to only message would be use the mouthwash as I have told you. Use betadine gargle. Take steam in inhalation. Take steam inhalation whenever you come back from work or whatever, or at least 2-3 times in a day. Take steam. Use the mouthwash whenever you are going out, so that your viral load is down in
Right.
case. And always don't follow men.
Okay.
Now, what do we mean by men in the sense? Avoid men in sense the mouth, the eyes, and the nose. Avoid.
Fantastic, sir.
Yeah. Avoid men. Follow women.
Oh.
But not literally,
Okay.
following women. What I mean to say is follow women in the sense, W means wash your hands properly. O is obey social distancing. Then M means mask up, wear your mask. And again, E means exercise and eat well. And N means no spitting. Don't spit.
Fantastic.
Don't spit on hand. So this is my only at this COVID scenario. This is a thing you should follow. Don't follow men, follow women, but don't literally follow. Dr. Chatterjee has told to follow women. Don't physically go following the woman. I mean, this instructions need to be followed. That's the
But
only.
I think, sir, this is wonderful message, and I think first time I am at least hearing all the precautions in just a simplified manner. Because, to be very honest, there is so much of information outside. Like whether it is
Exactly.
internet, whether it is social media, whether we are going to authentic WHO site or whatever CDC sites. We sometimes get bogged up with so much of information, but I think uh, this is the best way anybody could have told about the precautions, and I'm sure nobody is going to forget this mnemonic. That is, don't
Yes.
follow men, follow
Follow
women.
women.
That is
Yes.
fantastic,
Yes.
sir.
The
And
simple way you can discuss. That's what simple way.
right,
Because as you told, CDC is given, WH is confusing everybody. Every day somebody is writing something.
something, right.
So it's just follow this up.
I
That's the
think,
only
sir, that
simple way.
was wonderful to talk to you and get such practical insights, because these are the things when it comes from a person like you, it really gives us that strength of mind, and also definitely, as you say, that we are filled up with positivity, and particularly whether it is saliva as a sample or as a whole about this pandemic. I think we all got energized from your inputs and insights. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So with that, viewers, today I will take a leave with Dr. Anirban Chatterjee, sir, and I'll come back with another episode of Eclectica to all of you with some other fascinating personality from different genre of science, technology, healthcare, entrepreneurial stories, and inspirational life stories. Thank you. Take
Thank
care
you.
and stay
So
safe.
I'd like to thank Dr. Gargi for giving me this opportunity, and she has been a wonderful host, and she has been doing this work with Saliva GCF from last so many decades. Thank you very much, Dr. Gargi. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure that you are here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.